Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, a resounding success, one might say. New players flocked to the game, enchanted by its promise of collaborative storytelling and heroic adventure. Yet behind the screen, a storm brews. Dungeon masters, the architects of these fantastical worlds, are finding themselves increasingly frustrated. The very system that promises boundless creativity seems to bind them with invisible chains. This essay delves into the reasons why, despite its popularity, D&D 5e is leaving many DMs disillusioned and seeking greener pastures. This isn't a condemnation of the game or its players. It's a critical examination of the challenges faced by those who shoulder the responsibility of crafting engaging and balanced gaming experiences. We'll explore the lack of robust DM resources, the ambiguity of certain rules, and the growing imbalance between classes. We'll also delve into the shift from traditional dungeon crawling to more character-driven narratives and how this impacts the DM's role. Imagine this, you're a budding DM, eager to weave your own tapestry of adventure. The excitement is palpable as you gather your materials, ready to dive into the world of storytelling. You crack open the Dungeon Master's Guide, hungry for guidance on crafting engaging plots, designing memorable dungeons, and breathing life into your world. The anticipation builds as you flip through the pages, but instead of a comprehensive toolkit, you find vague suggestions and a smattering of tables. The disappointment sets in as you realize the depth you were hoping for is missing. This lack of substantial DM resources is a common pain point in 5e. Many DMs share this frustration, feeling the guide falls short in providing the necessary tools. While the basic rules are clear enough, DMs are often left to their own devices when it comes to the nitty-gritty of world building. The guide offers a foundation, but the intricate details are left to you. Want to create a unique magic system? Good luck deciphering the vague guidelines provided. The lack of clarity can be a significant hurdle for those looking to innovate. Need to populate your world with compelling NPCs with motivations beyond kill the adventurers. Prepare to flex those creative muscles because the DMG offers little support. The challenge is real, and the effort required is immense. This lack of depth forces DMs to either spend countless hours homebrewing content or rely on third-party resources, which can vary wildly in quality and balance. The journey to create a rich, immersive world is fraught with obstacles, but the reward of a well-crafted adventure is worth the effort. One of 5e's selling points is its streamlined rule system, designed to be accessible to newcomers. However, this simplicity often comes at the cost of clarity. Many rules are left open to interpretation, leading to inconsistencies and disagreements at the table. What constitutes a reasonable action? How does advantage or disadvantage actually work in specific situations? The answers are often frustratingly elusive. This ambiguity places a heavy burden on the DM to adjudicate on the fly, making rulings that feel fair and consistent. While some DMs thrive on this improvisational aspect, others find it exhausting and stressful. It also creates an environment ripe for rules lawyering and disagreements, derailing the game and souring the mood. This lack of clarity can be particularly frustrating for new DMs who are still finding their footing and may not feel confident in their ability to interpret the rules on the fly. In the world of Dungeons & Dragons, not all heroes are created equal. This disparity is most evident when comparing the capabilities of spellcasters and martial classes. This issue has been a long-standing topic of discussion among players, and it persists even in the latest edition, 5e. The gap between these two types of classes can be quite significant. While martial classes like fighters and barbarians are effective in their niche, they often feel lackluster compared to their spellcasting counterparts. Their abilities are straightforward and sometimes repetitive. Spellcasters, particularly at higher levels, have access to a wider range of options, both in and out of combat. They can cast spells that control the battlefield, deal massive damage, heal allies, and even alter reality itself. This versatility allows them to adapt to a variety of situations, making them feel more impactful and dynamic. Martial classes, on the other hand, often rely on physical prowess and straightforward tactics, which can feel limiting in comparison. This imbalance can lead to a less engaging experience for players of martial classes, who may feel like their contributions are insignificant compared to the pyrotechnics of their spellcasting allies. the disparity can be disheartening. It also creates challenges for dungeon masters who must carefully balance encounters to avoid overwhelming martial characters while still providing a challenge for spellcasters. This balancing act can be quite tricky. While some argue that this imbalance is intentional and reflects the different power fantasies of each class, it's hard to ignore the sense that martial classes are simply less versatile and impactful. As the game progresses, this gap often widens, making it more apparent. Martial classes may struggle to keep up with the ever-expanding toolkit of spellcasters. Addressing this imbalance is crucial for ensuring that all players feel their characters are equally valuable and enjoyable to play, regardless of their class. Section 5. Dungeons fade, characters shine, a shift in focus, Dungeons and Dragons. The name itself evokes images of shadowy dungeons, fearsome monsters, and glittering treasure. While these elements are still present in 5th edition, there's been a noticeable shift towards character-driven narratives and role-playing. This isn't inherently a bad thing, but it does present challenges for dungeon masters who prefer a more traditional dungeon crawling experience. The emphasis on character backstories and personal quests can sometimes overshadow the exploration and discovery aspects of the game. Dungeon masters may feel pressured to tailor their campaigns to the specific desires of their players, potentially sacrificing their own creative vision in the process. This isn't to say that character development and storytelling are unimportant, but the balance between these elements and the thrill of exploration and dungeon delving feels somewhat skewed in 5th edition. Section 6. The 2024 DMG, A Band-Aid on a Broken Bone. In response to mounting criticism, Wizards of the Coast released an updated Dungeon Master's Guide in 2024, hoping to address the community's concerns and improve the overall gaming experience. While it introduced some positive changes, such as expanded guidance on running games for different playstyles and new tools for dungeon masters, it ultimately fell short of addressing the core issues plaguing the system, leaving many players and DMs frustrated. One of the most controversial changes was the removal of the multiple encounters per day design philosophy, a staple in resource management. This change, intended to simplify resource management, inadvertently threw the already delicate balance of the game into further disarray, causing more arguments and confusion among players. Without the need to conserve spells and abilities, spellcasters became even more potent, dominating the game, while martial classes saw little benefit from the change, further widening the gap between different character types. The updated DMG also failed to address the lack of detailed lore, world-building tools, and concrete rules that DMs had been clamoring for, which are essential for creating immersive campaigns. Instead, it offered more of the same vague suggestions and open-ended prompts, which many found unhelpful, leaving many DMs feeling underwhelmed and unheard, questioning whether the update was a genuine attempt to improve the game or just a superficial fix. Section 7. Seeking Sanctuary Alternative Systems and Homebrewing Havens. Faced with these challenges, many DMs are seeking solace elsewhere. Some are turning to alternative tabletop RPG systems that better align with their preferred playstyles. Systems like Pathfinder 2nd Edition offer more robust rules and crunchy mechanics, while games like Dungeon World prioritize collaborative storytelling and player agency. Others are diving deep into the world of homebrewing, crafting their own rules, settings, and adventures tailored to their specific needs. This exodus to other systems and the proliferation of homebrew content speaks volumes about the shortcomings of 5e from a DM's perspective. It highlights a desire for more support, more clarity, and a system that doesn't require extensive tweaking to run smoothly. While 5e's flexibility is often touted as a strength, it can also be a double-edged sword, forcing DMs to fill in the gaps where the system falls short. Section 8. A Call to Arms. Wizards, are you listening? It's important to remember that this critique comes from a place of love for the game. Dungeons and Dragons holds a special place in the hearts of countless gamers, and we want to see it thrive. But for that to happen, Wizards of the Coast needs to listen to the concerns of its dungeon masters. We need more than just new adventures and player options. We need robust DM resources, clearer rules, and a better balance between classes. We need a system that empowers us to create truly memorable gaming experiences, not one that leaves us feeling frustrated and unsupported. The future of D&D depends on it. Section 9. Conclusion: the future of the Dungeon Master. The road ahead for D&D is uncertain. Will Wizards of the Coast heed the call for change, or will they continue to prioritize accessibility over the needs of its most dedicated players? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the Dungeon Master is the heart and soul of any D&D game. Without their passion, creativity, and dedication, the game simply wouldn't exist. It's time for Wizards of the Coast to recognize the invaluable role that Dungeon Masters play and provide them with the tools and support they need to thrive. The future of D&D depends on it.